Good afternoon. I pray that your weekend was filled with spaces and places of joy, of peace, of happiness. I pray that if your weekend, like mine, contained a small disappointment, that you were able to get over it very quickly. And what is the disappointment? I have made up my mind that after raising my children in this house and being here for almost 30 years, I want to look into moving into a 55 plus community. And I was supposed to go and check it out this weekend, but they said there was going to be a big storm with flooding. So I canceled it. And guess what? It rained for like 5 minutes. And you know what? It's interesting. It took me a while to get over that. It affected my whole day. And you know me, so when I find myself feeling some kind of way, I try to dig a little bit deeper. And what I realized is that with the social distancing and even with all the different things I do to add some variety to my day, I was really looking forward to having something new to do. I didn't realize how much I had been looking forward to it. And then when I made the decision out of safety, because I didn't want to be out in the rain if there was possible flooding, but yet and still, even when I made that decision, I didn't realize how much it was going to affect me. And so today I just want to check in with you. How are you doing? How are you managing? How are you holding up? You know, what ways have you found to deal with this, what is it, like month 5 or whatever? Let's see, April, May, June, July, August, almost 6 months of social distancing for some of us. Now, I know some of y'all who are viewing this from different parts of the country or world, who you've decided, I'm not wearing a mask, I'm going where I want to go, I'm going to do what I want to do. Your life has not necessarily changed, but for some of us, it has. And I ask myself frequently, what would you be doing if you could do whatever you want to do? And the answer doesn't really matter because it's focused on what I want to do. Needless to say, this has been a humbling experience for me. And 95% of the time, I'm okay with it. 95% of the time, I'm working on puzzles, I'm going for walks, I have a yoga challenge, I just got finished doing a meditation thing. You know, I find things to do to keep me occupied, but about 5% of the time, and it tends to sneak up on me, and about 5% of the time when I find myself, and I find it really difficult to get out of bed, not because I'm sore, but because I have no motivation, where the bed just feels like the best place in the world, not because I'm sleepy, but because I don't really have, it's like what I have to look forward to is more of the same. But I'm glad that that only happens about 5% of the time. And I would like to acknowledge that for some of you, it's happening even more. And even if it only happened 1% of the time or less than a percentage, it's still something to acknowledge. It's still something to notice. It's still a part of our journey of allowing ourselves to feel what we feel. You know, if you've been traumatized, and most of us have, you learn to kind of suppress your feelings and keep it moving. And some of us who've been churched all our lives, we've been fed the theology of, you know, you should be happy all the time, be anxious for nothing, but we're also human. And so every now and then, and let me just speak for me, I find myself in a place where it's like, ugh, I don't even know what day it is. It doesn't really matter. Let me show you just how much this was getting to me. On Friday, I did a video and did a whole talk about being safe during your Labor Day festivities. And guess what? Labor Day's next week. I was a whole number of days off. And so what my advice to you, what I'm asking you is, if you choose to, is to reply in the comments, how are you doing? Just how are you doing? Our next couple of videos will be around different things to look at, you know, to see if we are mentally or emotionally exhausted at times. But if you could write in the comments, how are you doing? Like I said, for me, it's like 95% of the time I'm good, but there's that 5%. And there used to be a nursery rhyme that said, when she was good, she was very, very good, but when she was bad, she was awful. 95% of the time, I am good. I am great. I'm optimistic. I'm a glass half full kind of person. But that 5% of the time, it doesn't slam hit me like a wall. But when I realize, my motivation has waned. I know from experience, I know from being on this planet, I know that that's the time when I have to dig a little bit deeper, not to fix it, but just to acknowledge that it's there. So my message to you today is, wherever you find yourself, if you find yourself feeling less than motivated, if you find yourself actually getting tired of this almost 6-month routine of wearing masks and all that kind of stuff, and making sure you have hand sanitizer and all the things that we have now incorporated into your life, when you find yourself in that space when it's like, if I see one more bottle of hand sanitizer, if I have to remember to put on this mask, if I, have to spray my boxes, I'm just tired of this. When you find yourself in that space, I invite you to feel what you're feeling. Don't try to ignore it. Don't try to happy it away, but allow yourself to feel it, because guess what? This too shall pass. Let me say that again. This too shall pass. Feelings are not facts. They're just feelings. And it tends to do us more harm when we try to ignore the feelings than we give ourselves permission to just feel it. So that's the message for today. Feel what you're feeling, and feel it on purpose and with intention, because this too shall pass. Love you all. Look forward to talking with you tomorrow. And I pray that you find something today to make you smile, that perks up your feelings, that gives you a sense of well-being, even if it's only for 5 minutes, because in this community, baby steps count, and it's all good, no matter what you're feeling, because they're yours. Love you, and I'll talk with you tomorrow. Bye-bye.